When you're on a lonely island and you basically can take along some food, what would you take along? Would you take along a kilogram of bread, or would you take along a kilogram of butter? Most people can say, well, I don't want to eat butter really. It's not very nice just to eat butter, so they take the bread, but that's a bad choice. Because lipids, and butter is made of lipids, contain significantly more energy than carbohydrates, which is bread. So as a matter of fact, lipids store about 6 times as much energy per gram compared to carbohydrates. And why is this? Because carbohydrates generally store less energy than lipids, because carbohydrates are already more oxidized than lipids are, for those of you who are into chemistry. So generally they store less energy, however, water binds to carbohydrates, making them heavier. So essentially it's like this. Concerning energy storage, lipids are significantly more efficient than, for example, proteins or carbohydrates. Even though we use carbohydrates as our main energy source. I mean, we don't run around eating fats and oils normally. We run around eating rice, bread, wheat, and flour products, and grains, and corn, and so on. But not so much fats and oils, of course. But from an energy standpoint, carbohydrates contain less energy. And a second topic relating to lipids and health is the whole issue with body mass index, because sometimes if there is more energy intake than we're able to burn, then the body converts this additional energy, the additional food, into fat, into lipids. And this can basically deposit in the adipose tissue, and therefore can be a significant factor in increasing body mass and weight. So, but another important thing is the following: is the weight alone is not enough to determine if a person's body mass is healthy or not. You must also consider the person's size. Well, of course, because a person who is larger is also heavier and has a higher weight. But this does not automatically mean that the person is any less healthy or whatever. So you always must consider the body size as well. Or a child, of course, a child weighs less. Because the child is also smaller, but this does not mean that the child is underweight. Okay, so you have to somehow, we need a formula which links the person's body mass and the person's size, and this is known as the so-called the body mass index. And a tall person can be heavier, of course. In most cases, the tall person is heavier, can be heavy and still be healthy. And here is the formula. The body mass index is you take the body mass of the person in kilograms, and we're using metric units here, okay? So it's really important. And you divide it by the height of the person, which is in meters squared. So there is no need to do any unit conversions or anything, okay? Because kilograms and meters, there is no possibility to convert them. So you don't actually do the division with the units, but you get a factor, a value. And if the body mass index is less than 18.5, the person is underweight, normal weight, overweight, and obese. Now, these are statistical, figures, which basically whether a person is underweight or normal or overweight or obese is the values over here are of course also reference values that were determined by looking at the average of a certain population. Okay, and probably also by linking it to other health issues as well. I don't want to say that it's completely isolated from that too. But essentially what people can do and what they do is basically they put in the numbers over here into this formula, and they calculate the body mass index. And you actually, the question is now, what are the units of body mass index? It would be actually kilograms per square meters. Okay, kilograms per square meters, but we usually use that. We just say, okay, these values are important, but not actually the units. It's just as a tool to help us determine if the weight is approximately in the normal range. Okay, so essentially, the higher the BMI, the higher the body mass index, the heavier the person is compared to his or her body size. Now, I'm not going to calculate this myself now for myself. I did this once. I'm normal weight, okay, but essentially other factors I've actually used another statistic once to calculate this, and then essentially it was again that there was from percentiles, I was again underweight. So I mean that's a gray zone to a certain extent, because what happens, for example, if a person is exactly 18.4. Okay, is this the person automatically underweight? But I don't know, the person just gains a little bit of weight, then he's already again normal. I mean, these are gray zones over here, and essentially what I think personally is the body mass index might be quite valuable, but it might not be the only thing which obviously determines whether a person is healthy or not. Okay, so that's basically it. Okay.